hunting, fishing, and loving every day. Throw that Luke Bryan song in with a hula skirt and a basketball, and you have a picture of me. Growing up in the small city of Greenville, Kentucky, I've had several opportunities to do some great things. Although I have many interests, I most enjoy traveling with my family, playing sports, and hunting and fishing. I've traveled to many great places with my family. I've been to Mexico, Hawaii, and California. Of all these places, Hawaii must be my favorite. While there, my family and I visited Pearl Harbor, went to a luau, and snorkeled in the Pacific Ocean. Hawaii is the most beautiful place that I've ever been. However, there's a place I love to visit that is close to home. It's not quite as beautiful, but it is thousands of miles closer, and that is Memphis. My favorite thing about Memphis would either be Beale Street or the Bass Pro Shops at the Pyramid. Memphis is a place I would recommend anybody to go. There are some interesting sights in Memphis. I've been to the FedEx Forum to watch the Memphis Grizzlies play 4 times. I really enjoy watching them because I'm interested in sports. I've also walked Beale Street quite a few times. It is very pretty with all the neon lights shining and all the vines growing on the buildings. At the Bass Pro Shops at the Pyramid, my family and I went to the very top and got to look out across Memphis and the Mississippi River. In Memphis, there are several barbecue joints, one being Central Barbecue. Every time I've been to Memphis, we've eaten there, and it is my favorite barbecue ever. Secondly, another interest of mine would be sports. Throughout my 17 years of life, I've played several sports. Basketball, probably my favorite out of all of them. I played basketball since I was 4 years old, and I've loved it since the beginning. Growing up, I've been involved in several other sports, including soccer, baseball, cross country, and track and field. I always wanted to be a football player, but my mother would never let me. I was always too skinny to play. I always thought otherwise, though, so the two of us would make bets about my weight, and if I weighed a certain amount, I could play football. Unfortunately, my mother always won. Another sport I really liked is track and field. As a freshman in high school 2 years ago, I decided I wanted to go to and practice and see if I liked it. I immediately fell in love. I'm a long jumper and a triple jumper. The first meet I ever competed in was a disaster. I was extremely nervous while doing the triple jump and kept getting faults every time I jumped. Eventually, on my third and final jump, I jumped a decent distance and built up confidence in myself. At the end of the year, as I kept working, I eventually jumped a 32 feet and 7 inches. I got to compete in regionals as a freshman, and although I didn't place, I built up confidence in myself that I would come back stronger in the years to come. Finally, I love hunting and fishing. I had never been hunting until I was in the 6th grade when my dad took me deer hunting. I always complained about how cold it was. I eventually toughened up 2 or 3 years later, but at the time I was not prepared for the cold weather. Most people do not enjoy sitting in 30-degree weather waiting for an animal to walk by, but I do. I've killed 4 deer in the 5 years I've been hunting. It is very enjoyable for me because I can do it with my dad and we both love it. The first deer I ever killed was just like my father's, a button buck. The year after, I killed an 8-point buck, which is the largest deer I've ever killed. I hope to kill one bigger, but I must be patient. Hunting is also a stress reliever for me. If I'm having a bad day, I know it is much quieter and peaceful in a deer stand. Also, fishing is just like hunting for me. I know it's much more peaceful out on the water. Fishing is extremely enjoyable because I have several friends I can hunt with, or fish with rather. I remember going to my grandmother's house when I was young, and I'd always be excited. In conclusion, I'm thankful for the opportunities to be able to travel, play sports, and hunt and fish. These things can keep me loving every day.